You work so hard. You show up every day. You do what's expected of you. But deep down, you know the truth. One paycheck shouldn't decide how your life turns out. But what if your evenings meant progress? What if your weekends built freedom? What if your laptop became more than just a screen? This isn't about quitting your job. It's about giving yourself options. While others scroll, you start building. Quietly, consistently, and on your own terms. No pressure, no guessing. Just a clear system you can run after work, before work, or whenever life gives you a turn. That's what Goldmine on hustlesafrica.com is for.
We are back like we never left. I don't know whether Barcelona are okay wherever they are, but we saw some shockers last night, and we're about to get into that. I am joined by Peter.
Yes, welcome.
Peter, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Any surprises last night?
So much surprised, man. Barcelona let me down.
Uh-huh.
I really wanted them to win yesterday because I knew at the Politano would be hard,
Yes.
would be difficult, but
Yeah.
they made it even more.
So they needed to get something out of this first
they
leg,
needed
right?
to get
Which
something.
they failed to do.
And Barcelona, season after season, the reason why they have not won Champions League is always these moments of them going asleep. Like last year against Inter Milan, just concentrate for just 5 minutes and win that game and go to the final.
Yeah.
They were out.
They were out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
Same thing.
red card. They don't have, I don't know, but I can't rule them out.
Yeah, but Maurice, just before we went live, you were sharing some interesting stats of Barcelona versus Atletico, and maybe share it with us, and then we will see that probably what happened last night is really not a surprise, but somehow Diego Simeone has a way with Barcelona.
Certainly, Diego Simeone is a kind of coach who is very tactical. He's like, I'm going to let you win this one.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going to catch you.
Uh-huh.
Saying that doesn't mean that Barcelona cannot overturn the 2-0 loss.
Really?
Yeah, because if you look at the statistics here, the last 20 meetings, all competitions,
Uh-huh.
April 4th, 2026, Barcelona won at the Wanda, 1-2.
Yeah.
After that, April 2nd, 2025, Barcelona won 1-0. And then on the December 21st, 2024, Barcelona won 1-2. Sorry. So Barcelona won 3-0, sorry.
3-0.
3-0. And then after that, January 2023, Barcelona won 1-0. And then the other time is when? December 2019, Barcelona won 1-0 as well. So it's a pretty tight game for sure.
Yeah.
But I think this time around, Atletico will want this more.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Atletico win in the second round.
Second round.
I also think
That's very bold.
I also
Very bold,
think
yeah.
that Atletico will go through.
Yeah, they're gonna go through.
If Barcelona didn't get anything at Camp Nou, Abana.
No.
That was their chance.
And I think Atletico may end up in the final because I don't see Arsenal beating Atletico. The other team that I think might...
bold take.
All
The other
right.
team that I think potentially might beat Atletico or pose a serious challenge to them is either Bayern Munich or PSG. Arsenal fans, sorry, but you can't. Yeah.
Okay. That's
I'm
very
gonna-
interesting.
I'm gonna be the
Peter
only person.
still has hope
Yeah.
that Barcelona might turn this around.
If there's any team in the world that can score 3 goals or 4 goals, any stadium is Barcelona. So there's no way I'm going to rule them out.
Okay.
They can do it like they can. I'm 100% sure they can do it.
If they have Rafinha back, yes.
Even without Rafinha.
Hey,
Okay.
that is
They
confidence.
can. Because how many goals have they scored even this season alone? It's a team. So you can't just say they can go there and they can not score 2 or 3 goals. So
Very interesting.
I'm still hoping that next week they're going to go to the Metropolitano and get the result that's needed. And
Really?
My still stick with my prediction. Semi-final Arsenal Barcelona.
Really?
I think it will be hard.
It's going to be hard.
The reason is,
I know Simeone very well.
if you look at yesterday's the Barcelona bench right now,
Yeah.
Rashford is not a start. When Rafinha is fit, he comes on as a sub. So in the game yesterday, and then you take off Lewandowski, you bring on Torres.
Ferran Torres.
So if you look at before, Rafinha is one player who plays 90 minutes. Rarely do they sub him unless he's injured
Yeah.
or he's on a yellow card.
Yeah.
Lamine, he comes off. That's why at times they sub Lamine for Rashford.
Or Badji.
Talking about Lamine, is it that the hype is too much on him, that sometimes he's under pressure to deliver?
The burden.
Yeah, because remember, he's also still quite young.
He's very young. Yeah.
But then when there's discussions about an upcoming match, his name will be appearing everywhere. And that can come with pressure.
Yes.
That probably someone at his age is not yet ready to deal with.
Or to handle.
Because at this point, he's expected to carry the team, basically.
That's true.
And that's what
Yeah.
if you see the recent matches, Hansi Flick has been trying to help him to handle by substituting him in some games.
Yeah.
Being a number 10 at Barcelona is,
It's not a
Messi,
joke.
Ronaldinho,
Yeah.
everyone wants you
You're walking behind very big names.
He's trying to fill shoes that are too
and
huge.
Huge.
So far he's doing well.
Yeah.
He's not at the power of these legends
Yeah.
in terms of numbers yet.
Yes.
Considering the age.
Yeah.
But he's doing well for me, I think.
Okay.
Because right now, if you see Barcelona, I think he's one of the most, him and Pedri, they're the most important players in that team.
Very true.
They have so much impact.
Yeah.
If they're not in the team,
Yes.
you see there's some, even in the confidence is kind of affected. So Simeone, I know, he's planning something for him next leg, because he knows that without Lamine being in the game, we have more chance to win this game.
Yeah.
So, and even yesterday they did so well to deal with him when he was in the game. So it's interesting to see where this tie is going to be in second half. It's going to be interesting, second leg.
Very true. Because even
It's gonna be interesting.
before the red card, Barcelona were in control. Like even Rashford scored, but it was offside.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for the red card, I think the game would have ended differently. Maybe a 1-1. So take out the free kick. That was just pure class. The Soloth goal was also down right to. It's more of like a long ball across goal.
He still had work to do, though.
I was telling Beatrice in one of the episodes that for me, most people don't talk about him so much. For me, Soloth is a very good striker.
Yeah.
In fact, when you're a team that is crossing the ball a lot in the box, it's so
You
good
want
in
him
the
to
box.
be there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've seen him score a lot of header inside the box. So for me, he's one of the strikers people don't talk much about him.
Yeah.
But he's very good.
That's
very
true.
good. You can even look at the numbers this season.
Yeah.
His contribution and everything. So I was not surprised that he converted that chance.
Yeah.
And he has a very good record against Barcelona.
Oh yeah.
People
Wow.
don't know that. He always scores against Barca.
So I'm just looking at the stats, and yesterday the total shots for Barcelona were 21 against 6 for Atleti.
They don't need
And
much.
then Barcelona had shots on target 7 against 3 for Atleti. So does it mean that Barcelona is not clinical?
In some way
Because
you
if
could say
you
so.
have 7 shots on target but 0 goal at the end of the match.
Yeah, in some ways, yesterday they were not clinical. They were not effective. And at this stage of the Champions League, by the way,
The chance you get, you need to bury it.
Correct.
What matters is your efficiency. Like
Yeah.
it's so important.
Yes.
Even that game, Real Madrid versus Bayern, the chances that Real Madrid wasted in that game.
Yes. And those things usually come to haunt you.
Yeah, it's gonna haunt you. So if you get 7 chances, at least convert 3.
Because Atleti had 3, they converted 2.
They don't need much.
So it begs the finishing for Barcelona last night. We know they have finishers. It's not like they don't have players who can bury the ball into the net.
But even let's talk about the evolution of Diego Simeone. I think he's one of the managers who people are still living in his past. Because in his past, it was so defensive. The Atletico, the one that was reaching the Champions League final in 2016, the 2014 one.
Yes.
I remember the 2016 one, they knocked out Bayern Munich, that was coached by Pep Guardiola. They only had their own position at 20% that game, and yet went through.
Yeah.
So, but when you look at the Atletico of after 2021, where they won the La Liga, upwards to 2026, they have really been a team that is now not defensive as people have actually linked them.
They have evolved.
Yeah,
They've evolved to be a
to
team
how
that is more
football is changing.
transitional, fast, open, depending on the opponents.
Yeah.
But also, you can't rule out the fact that he can go back to his whole self
when it's needed.
When it's needed.
Like I think what's going to happen next week will be more of that. More of the defensive part of Athletic. And they can defend very well.
They're going to bring that part out.
Yeah.
And so I think, but even Barcelona know.
Yes.
So I think this week they're going to train on how to break a 5-4-1 formation.
That's true. And I think that
they're going to train on how to break that.
That will be
if they find a way to break that, they're going to... They know they will have a chance. But also Atletico will be like, these guys, we know if you cross the ball to the wing, you beat the high line and cross the wing and cross the box, you're going to score a goal. That's but the Barcelona goals, most goals that was considered this season have been the same. If this is the pitch, right, they play high line. There's someone who is running inside, another one running outside to stretch the high line. So when this person is anakimbia, evade the offside, there's always a central player waiting for the cross inside the box to score. And even you look at the red card, how they created that red card. They just evaded that high line, and you can't rule that happening again in the second leg.
I agree, and I think if Barcelona prepare for the 5-4-1, they will lose because, see, the Atletico have the ability to come back and play tiki-taka if they want.
If they want. But first one.
Yes.
First transition.
But now it's how they're able to balance it out. They know when to be defensive and when to attack. And if you look at even the red card, it's because a long ball was given to the boy is called Giuliano Simeone, you know, and he's quick. So imagine now you have him, you have Lorente, this other guy, Lukman. So I think that formation is a tricky one because you can be hit from...
They have runners.
You have 3 runners who run at you, and then now you don't know who to mark.
Literally, you pity the defense.
And then now you have people like Griezmann who can pass the ball from one side of the pitch to the other.
Actually, when how they beat them 4-0, they scored 4 similar goals. 4 similar goals. They just using same trick.
Wow.
So, and also this 5-4, there's a way they convert it to be 3-5-2 when it's needed to. Like 4-4-2. So they have so many ways on how to manipulate their way through this Barcelona defense. So Hansi Flick has to choose, has to make a decision. If he wants to win the Champions League, you can't win the Champions League with a bad defense. You can't. There's no one who ever won the Champions League with bad defense. Go down the history. No one.
I think
better have better attack. But your defense must be.
Because sometimes part of defending is attacking. When they are struggling to defend, it means some of their players that are meant to.
Great defenders have won Champions League.
I think they have good defenders because I think Araujo will be a straight swap for Kubasi. And Araujo is a good defender. The challenge of playing a 5-4-1 is this. What happens is that, you see, a 5-4-1 team sits back.
And it's so compact.
So what happens is that you commit too many players on the ball. And then when you're hit on a counter, it becomes very easy because all that Atletico have to do is sit back, win the ball back. And as soon as the midfielder or defender wins the ball back, the attackers know, just run. And as soon as they start running, the Barcelona defense just start running. So even if they start thinking of, let me play the offside trap, it doesn't work. The first thing in your mind is run back. Wow. So I think for the Barcelona, they're out of the Champions League. It will need something really special.
It's gonna be hard.
It has to be something really. They have to come up with, and I don't think he has that in him.
And finally, what I can say, is that when you're playing against Barcelona, I think Real Madrid suffers a lot for this. Don't allow them to take away your soul.
Take away your soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I mean by that, how do they beat Real Madrid? They always make Real Madrid, they take away Real Madrid's soul. Like they take your fighting spirit by passing the ball around you.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, just pass it then.
Oh,
And now
really?
ukizuba hivi Dani Olmo.
Oh, really?
Goal. That's how, don't allow them to take your soul. Just be focused. Even when they're passing those balls here, there, it's cool bother. But once you start being bothered by that, that's what I can say. They take away your soul because you lose concentration, you get frustrated, you go into tackles. They just see it and then they kill you like that.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, that's how they beat Real Madrid 4-0, 3-0 because it gets to some minutes, then Real Madrid now can't fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they're just scoring.
Anyway, we can agree that Simeone did outclass Barcelona last night, but there was another outclass in France.
In Paris, yeah.
That was expected. I called it. Sure as day and
Peter,
night.
you are the one who had hope.
Yes.
For Liverpool.
I had some hope for Liverpool. Like, I expected them to at least show up, man. This is a quarter final.
And you know,
You have the players.
PSG could have scored more. Like there's Dembele hit the post, and you were like, that was in.
Yeah.
The start, 70%, 30%.
70% PSG, ball
No shot on
possession
target.
against 30. And then
18.
total shots 18 against 3 for Liverpool. Shots on target 6 against 0.
Let me start. You people here may not agree with me, but it is, we are this conversation. I'm so obsessed with the Luis Enrique. I've told you that I want him to come.
He wants him to come to United,
Me too.
by the way.
Actually,
Are you for real?
Yes, he's the one manager that I would actually want to come to United.
He's my dream manager for United.
If you look at
I don't
the last-
care if it's gonna work. It's
Carrick,
not gonna
I'm
work.
with you. I'm with you.
No.
I'm with you 100%.
It's
Even
not
Carrick
against being
knows.
Carrick.
Even Carrick knows.
Even Carrick will say yes.
Yeah, that is a.
And I have
proper
my
coach.
reasons why. I know there's a risk. He has not coached in the Premier League. He
We
only
have
wins his
seen
star
good
players.
coaches come to the
Of
EPL
course
and
there's
you
that.
wonder who is that again.
There is that.
The
But
thing about
And at
let's
United,
try
we've
this.
seen them come.
the thing about Luis Enrique is he's better than any profile of a coach we've ever had. No questions asked. Like post Sir Alex Ferguson, no one comes close to him.
But we've had so many of them that we are told, oh, this one is now the one.
He's the guy who, if I was a Man United manager, I would give 1 billion shilling like Pep Guardiola is given to by City. And I can guarantee in 2-3 years we'll win the Premier League.
Very
I
true.
can be 100% sure.
Yo,
He just needs the first
Okay.
If
two
we give him
seasons.
the
I'm
money
on
that-
my own on this one,
if we give him
clearly.
the money that Pep is giving a City, 2 or 3 years, United will be in the Premier League. Because even right now, where we are, we're not that far from winning the Premier League, by the way, based on how the competition is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not that far away. We just need. This is not against Carrick. He's a good manager, right? But
Yeah.
I still feel he's not the manager to take us to the elites level. He can get us to 4, top 3, top 4. It can be getting us to 4, but competing consistently with the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, I don't think he is the manager to take us there.
Where?
And the reason where my reasoning comes from, I've been watching the games. We are playing well. He
Okay.
has an opportunity to grow, which I'm curious to see how he's going to grow tactically. But I'm not seeing innovations in his ideology. Right now, I can tell you who's going to start first 11 the next Tuesday, for example. The midfield, the defense. So this is not against Carrick. That's the point.
I understand what you're saying, but I'd say in his defense, he doesn't have a lot of options.
That also makes sense.
So if we had more depth,
Yeah.
then he would change it a bit.
Yeah.
Because you cannot take off Mainu
Who
for
are you gonna
Mount.
bring? Yeah.
See, Mount is not someone you want to bring Mount the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 15 minutes.
He's never
But
fit.
he's never
is
fit.
he even defensive?
No,
he's
not
more
defensive.
attacking.
But what the good thing about Mount is he presses a lot.
yeah,
so-
pressing he
yeah.
does.
So you
and they're running
60
around.
million for pressing.
That-
That was,
Fair enough. I think I'm
that
just
was
looking
robbery.
at,
That's a robbery for Chelsea, man.
I'm just looking at right now. He doesn't have any options, even defensive wise. the only option he has is either to play Martinez with Euro, because Delete is also injured.
Yeah.
Maguire has a red card. Or he plays Euro with Heaven.
Maguire's red card was overturned.
Really, it was?
Yeah.
Let's go back to
when they
I didn't know.
Yeah, there was they whatever made a case against it.
Okay.
Against the decision. I think it was overturned.
PSG dominated that game. I think semi-final with PSG Bayern Munich. As I
and that would be a good clash.
It's gonna be a tactical battle.
That would be an interesting one to watch.
Like it's gonna be, everyone is looking up to. No one wants to see PSG Real Madrid because they know.
Yeah.
As long as that game is gonna be a good one, but it's not gonna kind of bring the Real Madrid doesn't compete much these days. They just sit behind. But this attack kind of team. It's a game you want.
Do you see PSG making it to the final?
They can.
As the title defenders.
The only problem is Bayern winning.
Bayern winning is a big problem.
But if they beat Bayern, then they are going for it
this season, right?
Bayern has been beaten this season.
If they got Atletico, then they would have a higher chance of going to the final rather than Bayern. Bayern is a very different animal altogether. They are beatable, yes, but they are not easy to beat.
Yeah.
Not easy to beat.
You will have to suffer for that.
Do you think that this result has any impact on Slot's future at Liverpool?
100%.
Given they're already lining up, I know they already talks about Xabi Alonso.
I think that deal is done for me. Maybe, but it's not maybe in.
You think behind the scenes it's already.
It's already done.
There's some level of agreement that okay. But they might maybe just considering the timing of it. I thought Slot was a good manager for me. I think he still is.
Yeah.
But I quite still don't understand why it's not working for him this season.
Yeah.
Maybe you can say there's so much transition in the team in terms of the players they brought in, the players they let go, so many changes. He had to adapt tactically. But are Liverpool ready to take the risk of giving him one more season? Maybe that's something they'll have to consider. Can they give him one more season, or it's done? Because this is a elite level. You don't lose matches and stay at elite level, and that's why I didn't like when we were giving Amorim a lot of chances, because United is one of the biggest clubs in the world. You can't just be losing every week and in the name of project, but it's even Bournemouth will be sacked.
Yeah, I think Ancelotti, what undid him is that he changed too many things too fast. Yeah, and that messed up the team chemistry. Yeah. If he had maintained, maybe I agree with him on selling Diaz. Sorry, not Diaz, Nunes. Keep Diaz. Bring on. Maybe get Florian Wirtz, because he can play as a cam or left winger.
Yeah.
So, and then maybe bring on Ekitike. No need for Isak. Because yesterday when we were talking about Isak, Isak was playing in a team whereby he was the focal point. Yeah. Everyone was feeding him to score. Yes. Now he's coming to a team whereby anyone can score, including a defender. You need to find the ball. Including Alisson. Alisson has ever scored a header a few years back when. So he's coming to a team whereby it's now your individual effort that at times you need to dribble, to run with the ball, to create space for yourself. Now he's coming to a team whereby no one is creating for you. Yes. Yeah. So I think that's where he went wrong. And I think I don't think right now the players believe in his philosophy anymore. Yeah. But I think as soon as you lose your players, that's it. He's gone. Yeah. Liverpool are just wise enough not to fire him mid-season.
Due to the respect they have.
But for sure, he's going to go.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah.
And that is Champions League. We resume next week for the second leg, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, last night and then also tonight we have the Europa games. And we have a few EPL teams there still fighting for their lives, right?
Yeah.
Peter, do you see them going through Nottingham Forest?
I don't think.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest is playing FC
Bologna.
Porto. FC
Bologna,
Porto.
Porto.
FC
Porto is
Porto.
a
By the
tricky
way,
one.
Porto,
And they're starting at home.
Porto are leading in the Portuguese league, yeah?
Yeah.
Number one.
Yes.
They have one of the best managerial prospects, Farioli.
I know you're a fan of that manager.
Farioli. There's so many. By the way, when you look around Europe, there's so many young managers who are coming with brilliant ideas
Very
on
true.
how to approach football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for us, maybe me growing up, I just used to know 4-4-2. That Curry can score, so to play in the middle, and then Nani wing, Valencia, then strikers.
Yeah.
But these young managers are saying, you know what? There's so many ways you can play this game.
Yeah.
You can play it with 2 at the back, 3 at the back, and still win.
You can depend on set pieces like
Set
some
pieces.
team we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corner FC. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's so many, and there's an evolution.
Yeah.
The likes of Pep, even Pep
Yeah.
was beaten by Arbeloa.
Arbeloa,
Yeah, twice. So that shows that, guys, you're real level, but your time is up.
It's not
Yeah,
about
it's a sign that
experience.
it's
We are
about-
coming up with fresh ideas.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
okay, guy, man, that opposition now, it's gone, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's what we were saying yesterday. Like on paper, it's a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
But it involves.
When you're
So
on the
many
pitch,
variations.
anything can happen.
At some point, it's a 5-4-1. At times
Yes.
it's a 3-4-2-1.
And I think that's also
3-5-2.
going back to Amorim. That's where he failed us.
Yeah,
It's
that's why
so
it
many
Food was
variations.
so stuck.
you're so stuck. Yeah.
You could see the fact that you can see that formation in the pitch, like it's now 3-4-3 playing.
Yeah.
Even me, if I was a rival manager, I'll just figure out how to handle that.
And then even when he made the
You're
subs,
not making me think.
Yes, even when he made the subs, he's gonna replace a
Maguire.
central midfielder for another central midfielder.
And
So there's no change in the tactics. It's just the same
Yeah.
tactics.
So that's why it was so easy for the Premier League opponents to figure out how to deal with United. You just know how to deal with Bruno and just sit 4-5-1, and they don't do anything. They don't do anything. So Farioli is one of those managers who, to him, together with
Fabian Hasler.
Fabregas, Hasler,
Even Fabregas.
Sebastian Hones, Stuttgart, this young Xabi Alonso, these young managers are
Even De Zerbi is also
De
good.
Zerbi. So Farioli was assistant to De Zerbi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, another manager you should talk about is the manager of Stuttgart.
Yes, Stuttgart, Sebastian Hones.
Oh, that team is so good.
They're so good.
Yeah.
It's just that they don't have the quality, but when you watch them play, you can see that this is a team.
It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a very hard tie for Nottingham Forest. I don't see. I think that's the best they can do.
Yeah, Portugal is a very hostile ground.
Yeah.
I think Aston Villa is the only team that I think in England.
They're gonna play with Bologna, right?
Bologna. I think Bologna.
Bologna also a very good manager.
Yeah.
Italiano.
Yeah.
Who is also in that category of, because he has reached he was at Fiorentina and he took Fiorentina to 3 finals, and this is another final he might took Bologna, might take Bologna mean, so he's doing well, so but it's gonna be an interesting tie, him and Unai Emery.
I think Emery will win this. Unai Emery is a tactician. One thing
and he's a master of Europa League.
is very good. Because you remember Europa League, actually, I think he's won Europa League the most.
Yeah, three or
When
there's
he was
time
at
he won 3
Villarreal,
times a row.
yeah.
And a row.
Yeah. So I think I'll go with Aston Villa for this one. Nottingham Forest, it's a tricky one. It's one of those games you don't know, because what I've also realized with it's true, Porto might go through, but I don't think it will be an easy win for Porto.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I think they will work hard for it, because Nottingham also know.
And
they
also
know that,
include the levels.
yes, they know that they are not going to get into Europe next season, so they need something to stay in Europe. So I think they are going to give it their all, so that they can be in Europe next season.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the Conference League, we just talked about Fiorentina. They're taking on Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is that team this season that has not been very consistent, and you kind of don't know what to expect.
Actually, they started off well until the Glasner announced that he was going to leave at the end of the season. I think the timing of that announcement did not favor the team, or did not consider what that can bring to the team. You get that from that point on. This time they were 7th or 8th. They were almost pushing for European places. But once Glasner announced that he was going to leave at the end of the season, kind of they struggled. and also they lost Gay
and
in January.
Yeah.
That kind of also have affected how they play. He's also one of the few managers who play 3 at the back, 3-4. The Amorim
3-4-2-1.
3-4-2-1.
Yeah.
But it's 3-4-2-1, but the ideology is very different. These formations, they might be the same, but what usually differentiates them is the implementation of them.
Yeah.
Because when you watch Inter Milan, for example, Inter Milan have played the same formation for, I think, the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Every single game. Same formation, 3-5-2. Lautaro, Thuram, strikers.
Yeah.
But still they can beat you with that.
They do.
You know how they're going to play, but still can beat
do.
them.
Yeah.
So
And they're lucky to take the Serie A.
they're going to take.
Because they're on 72 points now.
Yeah, they're going to take it.
Napoli is falling at 65. I think the last match, AC Milan, when they lost it, they were like, okay.
Yeah, when they
Yeah.
lost against
Yeah.
Napoli, it was done. Yeah, one day we can talk about Serie A also. So.
I know
Yeah.
this is your favorite topic. But yeah,
But
very interesting.
back to Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
I think as much as Oliver Glasner said he's going to leave, it was more frustration because he didn't have the right players.
Yeah.
Especially when he lost McGale, he was very the pivotal to the formation.
Yeah.
I think now he might reconsider because he has some good players.
Yeah.
But I think this striker they got from Wolves is very good. He's very clinical.
Last one.
Yeah. When he gets a chance, he score.
Yeah.
Mateta is injured, I think. So and then they have this guy they got from Tottenham,
Mateta brings
Brent-
energy.
Brendan Johnson.
Brendan Johnson, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Johnson is fast. And remember, even under the former manager of Spurs, Johnson was scoring consistently.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think
Under Ange.
yeah, Ange. Yeah. I think I will actually be. I'm rooting for Palace. I think they are going to win the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if you look at how they play, the 3-4-2-1 for them, they are very balanced. Like
Yeah.
I think Glasner is not rigid as Amorim was.
Yeah.
He knows at some point I need to defend with a 4, and also at some point I need to maybe have a little bit more players in the
forward.
box.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's how he will end up winning
Yeah.
because they've only lost like Gale and Eze, but they've got a few players back who can be able to do something different.
Yeah, the likes of
Yeah.
Pino.
Yeah.
Pino is
Peter is also very good. Like
Yeah.
just that he hasn't got up at that point whereby he's doing it every
consistently.
time. Yeah, but
And
so
also
I'll actually
as-
be I'm on Crystal Palace side.
And
this
also Fiorentina have been struggling this season.
Yeah, they have.
In the Serie A. I think they have been in the relegation zone, if I'm not wrong. So they're not that team that
They're currently 15.
the only player they need to be careful of, Crystal Palace need to be careful of, is Moise Kean, the striker from that Fiorentina striker. So apart from that, I just feel like Crystal Palace are going to go through with that.
Okay. Interesting. We have EPL starting tomorrow evening with West Ham taking on Wolves. That is relegation.
Oh, that would be an interesting one.
That will be interesting. Wolves away, right?
Wolves have come up when it's a bit too late. But West Ham are thinking, this is our chance to get out of the relegation zone. And West Ham are at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll say a few things about Edwards. He was a former manager for Luton Town. He brought them to the Premier League. Then, of course, they were relegated. He's our legend for Wolves. Then he was coaching Middlesbrough. He started the season with Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And then Wolves came in.
Yeah.
Said, okay, let me come back to my former club.
Yeah.
At first, he had to come in and get to understand the team, the players that they have and all that. I think he's a very good manager for me. He's one of those young English managers who can reach it that level of Eddie Howe. For me is the best English manager, the Premier League.
Really?
English. Eddie Howe, the Newcastle manager. Not many English managers in the Premier League, which is weird.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's interesting,
They're
yeah.
mostly from other countries.
Yeah, they're mostly from other countries. There's no English manager who have ever won the Premier League.
Yes. That's very interesting stuff.
Actually, you're right. Because even Sir Alex Ferguson is Scottish.
It's Scottish.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Marcus Edward, they are the future managers. He's the same category with Michael Carrick, who are coming up with different ideologies.
Correct.
So it will be interesting to see how it goes against Nuno. Nuno was a manager for Wolverhampton. I think that Wolverhampton was so dangerous.
Very dangerous.
I think they went to Europe and
they
reached
went to Europe,
quarterfinals, right?
Yeah. They were lethal.
Yeah, they were
Like
so
with
you had
Pedro
Neto, Jota, and Jimenez.
Jimenez, and then they also, this is the guy the striker who also went to Chelsea. What is his name? The Spanish striker.
The Spanish striker.
Yeah, I'm forgetting his name. I would remember.
Yeah, so that goal was so dangerous. Yeah. So Nuno, I think West Ham is gonna win. They're playing well. They have the quality. Yeah. The quality is much higher than Wolverhampton. Yeah. They have been doing well at home this season. Yeah. They played a very dramatic knockout game last week, which they almost won actually. So it's gonna be interesting to see if Wolves lose tomorrow. The confirmation to relegation, I think, is almost done. Yeah. If West Ham wins, they will go above relegation zone, and Spurs will be in the relegation. Spurs will go.
I remember Diego Costa.
Yeah.
Diego Costa was lethal. Yeah. That time under Nuno.
Yeah.
Oof, he was causing so much problems. Yeah.
So that's for me. I think West Ham gonna win tomorrow.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put my money on West Ham as well. Mm-hmm. Nuno is a far more experienced coach than Rob Edwards.
Yeah.
And I think he has a very interesting way of reading the game. I don't know why it didn't work out for him when he was at Spurs. Because he had the caliber of players he would have wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna win the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday, early kickoff, Arsenal Bournemouth.
As I already said, Bournemouth is a very tricky opponent. Andoni Iraola is a very interesting manager.
Yeah. He's also in that category of
yes,
managers.
That category.
I don't know.
Many. Arsenal might win it, but just by a small margin, 1 or 2 goals. Andoni Iraola is a manager who knows how to exploit.
He's also likely to leave, but I think he's going to go back to Atletico Bilbao.
Really?
Yeah, Valverde is going to leave.
Yeah, they're going to find
So I think he's going to go back to the La Liga next season. He's going to leave because he's supposed to sign a new contract at Bournemouth, but
he hasn't signed.
They've not been able to convince him enough to sign the contract.
Okay.
So it's open. Maybe Man United can also be in a conversation. We don't know.
No.
I think it gives us the same kind of profile like Carrick. And I don't think it will be.
It's
changing.
not worth.
It's not worth changing him.
Yeah.
For Carrick. If you're gonna change him, just stay with Carrick.
Yeah.
But I think for this one, he will give Arsenal a test for sure. Mm-hmm. Arsenal will win because now they know that they have to win the last all the games now remaining for them.
Yes.
So I think Arsenal will win.
They'll go at it with everything they've got.
Yeah. If I was to choose a team for Andoni, I'll take him to Everton.
Why Everton?
Everton is one of those teams who they're supposed to be out there. They're supposed to be having these young managers bringing new ideas to the team. So I always feel like Everton will really work well for him. They support him.
But what do you think about Moyes? Because Everton is number 8.
He's Mr. Everton.
Everton is 8th, and they are taking on Brentford, which is 7th.
They're actually tied on points. They're actually both 7.
46.
Oh, 46, 48, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Can you say David Moyes is Mr.
No, they're both 46 points.
He's Mr.
Yeah, 46, you're right, yeah. So they're both 7.
7 and 8.
7 and 8.
Only goal difference, +4 and +2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I would have said Spurs.
Spurs for Andoni.
Yeah. Actually, I hope they would have given Spurs. They've gone for Andoni Iraola instead of De Zerbi. I think
because of maybe more experience, but they're just the same. They have not.
Yeah, they're the same. Yeah, but I think when I look at De Zerbi and Andoni Iraola, Andoni's strategies are more. I think the Spanish coaches have a thing.
Yeah.
That they over a period of time they get to show that they're the better ones than, because if you look at even Luis Enrique, when he came to PSG, they struggled a bit. And then once they understood his tactics.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
And even look at the Bournemouth, how much changes they've had. They've lost Semenyo.
Yeah.
They're still scoring.
Yeah, they're still showing up.
Before that, they lost Dean Huijsen, the one who went to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
They lost their left back who went to Liverpool.
Yeah.
They lost they had the keeper, Kepa. So look at how much they've lost.
But they're still able to show up.
So I think the mark of a true manager is someone who can adapt quickly, even when they lose players. So I think for him, he doesn't work with player X, and if player X goes now, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I think that's why for me, I understand to some extent why he says him.
Yeah.
And to be honest, actually, I wouldn't mind him coming.
Yeah.
Because I think once we've lost a player like Bruno, he would have someone else who he knows.
Yeah,
He's not
can
the same
still show up
quality,
in
but
that
can show up.
midfield.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think you just need that average player that shows up.
And even something else, this season, Kluivert has been injured, but they're still scoring. So they've lost like Kluivert and Semenyo, who are
very key.
Yeah, very key to the attack.
Yeah.
But they're still scoring. They have Adli, they have Krupi.
Yeah.
Yeah, this other striker they've got. They've managed, and then the recruitment is also very good.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think I wouldn't mind such a manager at United.
Yeah.
Because there's that continuity that you're sure of.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think, and also to add on the Everton point, I think for me, I'll say David Moyes is Mr. Everton.
Okay.
Because
100%.
as growing up, that Everton team that Moyes built with Kyle, there's a time he broke my heart a lot, but one day I'll forgive him.
Do you remember Leighton Baines?
I remember.
Baines was
You know,
lethal.
when we lost the league to City,
Yeah.
Everton are the people who made us to lose that league.
Oh, really?
I think
That
they beat
4-4,
us, eh?
that 4-4
yeah,
at Old
we
Trafford.
we drew.
That 4-4 at Old Trafford, Steven Pina.
Baines also scored a free kick in that game.
Yeah, so, but look at what Everton have been going through when Moyes was maybe at West Ham or was not there. They were fighting for relegation.
Yeah.
Then he comes in and just be David Moyes again. And say, you know what, guys, you're going traditional. So there are these traditional managers who, when you hire Moyes, you hire Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
You know what to expect.
Correct.
Stability. They don't give you so much G on top, G top 4. But you're sure that
you're
that
sure.
Team, that team
they'll be
hard to beat.
top 10, they had to beat. And also, as you talk about Everton, there are two players that I think, one of them...
And Roy Hodgson, actually.
Yes. One of the players that...
Roy was the guy. When they're
He
almost
knows.
going to relegation, he comes in like this and they're
He
up,
knows.
out.
Right now, he went to Bristol City and he's won the last 2 games. So
They keep things simple.
yes, simple.
They don't
tactics, very
complicate
simple
it,
tactics,
yeah.
Back to Everton. Ilman Diaye is a player that United are looking at. Yes. For the left side.
All right.
Also,
Interesting.
we need to get back Ghana.
Really?
Yes. In the last one of the last England game, Tuchel was like he's like a Valverde.
Oh, the one that
he has so much
surprises
energy.
you.
And also, you're saying he can play right back.
Yeah,
he can play central midfield.
So he's dynamic,
He's dynamic,
as well. Yeah.
and the fact that he's one of us, we should go and get him.
Okay.
Because-
Interesting.
Oh, James Garner.
James Garner, yeah, he's a former United boy.
Interesting.
Get him on the cheap because part of the contract that we signed, the sale agreement that is there, I think we can buy him for maybe 40 million.
Yeah,
Go get him.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah, because he has the experience
That's
of the Premier
very
League.
reasonable.
Yeah, he has experience. He's a United groomed boy. So
Yes.
so for him when he comes back, and they can even comfortably say when you take out Mino, you bring him on.
Yeah.
Actually, that
and you'll
game
be safe.
in England. He started, then Mino replaced him.
Yes,
so,
interesting.
yes, Mino actually in England.
Interesting.
Tuchel's like Garner first, Mino later. That's what I was saying yesterday.
Interesting.
I think Amorim wasn't very wrong about Mino. They are different profile of players who can play better in Mino's position.
Yeah.
Garner can. And of course, because the season is long, they'll keep changing.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and
starting
because we are
today-
getting back to the Champions
Champions
League,
League, yeah.
and the cups, hopefully we do better, then there'll be more matches.
Yeah.
So it's not like if you don't start this one, you can't start the other.
Yeah.
And I think it's just also making sure that the coach, whoever comes in, has options.
Correct.
Because we need squad depth.
Yeah.
In order to
I
compete.
just discovered something interesting here. It goes back to the Arteta and Raiola relationship. Actually, they come from the same neighborhood back in Spain.
Really?
They're just 3 months away from age group. They're 3
What?
months away.
So
They played the same team when they were young. Their first
What?
clubs. They were teammates. So
Interesting.
it's gonna be friends meeting at the touchline.
Okay.
And San Sebastian is one of those regions that are producing very many managers. Even the Spanish managers come from that region.
Oh, wow.
It's a very unique region.
That's
in
very
terms of
interesting.
football heritage, the likes of Cazorla, the likes of
That's really
Arteta.
interesting.
So many players have come from that region and have gone on to dominate, even the managers.
Yeah.
Likes of Valverde.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. That's also to add into
That's actually very interesting.
Arsenal versus
Wow.
Bournemouth tie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be a tricky one for sure. Like
We are looking forward to this
actually,
one on
that's one of the
Saturday.
games. Actually, I'm gonna looking forward to watch. Of course,
Yeah.
with the United game as well,
Yes.
because I am a fan of Bournemouth. I never hide it. I like how they play.
How they play,
Yeah,
right?
it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
The beautiful. The
Wow.
football is so free.
Me, I kind of
flowing.
have a feeling for Newcastle, but it's not genuine.
Newcastle. For me, Newcastle has never been a team that I.
You have a feeling for Newcastle, but not genuine.
It's always
I find that
sometimes.
the
How about-
position, they play
When they
very
play
good.
at home, I just watch them when they play at home.
At St. James Park,
Yeah,
they're usually
because-
quite something.
Yeah, but the thing about them is that they just have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But they don't. I feel like they play. How can you put this? They're not using brains. They're using more of energy.
Oh, really?
Yes, and that's why if you look at a Bournemouth uses brain. Like how they are coached. They are very, very coached.
Yeah.
For Bournemouth, for Newcastle.
And also, I think we can't rule this out. And Daniel Raiola can be the next Newcastle United manager because
Yes,
Eddie Howe is kind of he has done the best he could do for
Yeah,
Newcastle.
he can't do anymore.
They need something fresh.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're saying about, sorry to bring back the Carrick conversation, similar to what Carrick can do. I think you get to a point whereby, a ceiling whereby he can't go past that.
Yeah.
Eddie Howe is there now,
Yeah.
and I think you're right, they might go with Andoni Raiola because imagine what he's done at,
He really matches the profile.
and
that
then
can
he
fit
has quality
Newcastle.
players like Gordon,
Yeah.
Guimaraes,
Guimaraes.
if he stays.
Yeah.
Says, even Elanga is good because Elanga is fast.
Elanga has actually, that is one of those people that left United,
If
but
you
is
look at the
still
thing,
doing
Elanga
a
is
bit.
good.
The Barcelona game,
He really
see,
knows how
I
to
just think he's too
press and
fast.
make the runs.
he's fast, yes, but you see, you can use him tactically. You can be telling him,
against Highline.
make the runs. Yes, a highline, make the runs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then because someone has to run with him, or maybe one or two people have to run with him.
Yeah.
What that means that you're overloading one side. So with Elanga, it's more of the tactics that you use, and I think Andoni Raiola can make him a beast.
So
Look at Tavernier.
it's gonna be interesting.
Tavernier plays
this
very
summer.
well. So Tavernier is a different profile of a player, but I think he can be a very different player under Andoni Raiola.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then we have Burnley taking on Brighton at home. Burnley is also fighting relegation, but I don't think they have anything for Brighton. I don't think.
Scott Parker is one of those controversial managers for me because some games is good, some games are just. He's so good at bringing teams back to the Premier League, but he's so good also at relegating teams.
I think, to be honest,
Both ways.
I have a different perception.
I'm kind of sure if Burnley are relegated this season,
Yes.
They'll come back.
Scott Parker will bring them back. He's so good at that.
Oh.
I think my opinion is I know what you're saying, and I agree with to some extent. But I think Scott Parker, if he had a different profile of players,
the quality.
he's like another one of company.
Yeah.
Because look at how they play. They are actually they're actually tough to beat,
Yeah,
and they do score.
but the quality.
It's a quality that lacks. So I think he has the ideas, but now the players to
Execute
that is what he's lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he would be even. I know, of course, he wouldn't go to a Newcastle, but I think if West Ham, West Ham, they're gonna have Nuno. He would be a good Everton manager of
Everton,
sorts.
11.
He would come in a little bit of quality, bam.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but Brighton Hasler is very innovative actually. He has that German heritage in him, in his way of playing, the press high.
Yeah.
The only worry with Brighton this season has been the defense. Welbeck is on form. Sometimes I feel Van Gaal was, anyway. But anyway, it was time also for him to leave.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah.
But maybe the timing was wrong. And also there are some players who just become better with age.
Yeah.
Also strikers.
Experience comes in.
Experience and right now he's a beast, and maybe it might be a consideration for the World Cup, maybe assisting, because Watkins have not been.
Yeah, Watkins has not been.
Only Watkins is just disappearing. You don't even hear him anymore.
Yeah, and I think that when a manager changes, for example, there's some things that maybe affect players.
Yeah.
When a manager changes the way they want to play, it also affects some players.
And I think for players, you have to adapt to the new manager's tactics.
Some
Otherwise,
struggle.
if you get stuck, even in the corporate world, when you get a new manager, it's up to you to quickly adapt and learn how this person works. Otherwise, then you can't fit.
That's true.
And you were to sign him first choice striker option.
Yeah.
Because I think Amorim's idea was like, you know what, I need experienced players. So that's why, that explains why he wanted Watkins and he wanted Martinez, this kind of players. But this season, it has not worked for him. Aston Villa made a very bad decision, which I didn't understand. Letting go Malen.
Oh yeah, Malen. Even I don't understand why they did that.
I don't understand why they did that, because it really affected their quality. But we're not talking about Aston Villa, right?
No. We've left Villa. We are talking about Burnley, Brighton.
So it's going to be interesting to see this young manager in the touchline fighting.
Did you guys watch the last Burnley game? That game, I think they were robbed.
They went 3-3.
The VAR robbed them. They had actually scored two. The last two goals they scored were ruled out.
Yeah.
But that team played.
Yeah, they
played very well.
And they're at home tomorrow, so on Saturday, I mean. So there might be a surprise there for Brighton.
Yeah.
But Liverpool will be taking on Fulham at Anfield. By the way, when we were talking about the Champions League, I didn't mention, what is it with Van Dijk defending while not looking at the ball? He does that so many times, and I just don't get it.
He keeps running away from one. So you're like...
I think when you're defending against very tricky and fast players, that's bound to happen.
Because Fulham also can humble you.
Fulham, they're playing, who's home?
Liverpool. Liverpool is at home.
I would not be surprised if Fulham give them a run for their money. Remember, even the United game, even the City game a few weeks back, Fulham really pushed City. City, yes, did win. I think they won 5-4 or 4-3.
Yeah, but they really pushed them.
They really pushed them. They came back 4 goals in the second half.
Wow.
So, as I said earlier, even yesterday, I think Marco Silva is one of those managers, again, who needs a better profile of players.
Yes.
He's a very good manager.
And the last 5 matches head-to-head, 1 win for Liverpool, 3 draws, and 1 win for Fulham. The last one was a draw 2-2. April 2025, Fulham beat Liverpool 3-2. And that's the season they won the league. Yeah. So it was a better Liverpool form than even now. Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting because
I'm gonna put my money on Fulham
because Liverpool have to respond. They feel like maybe they have to respond in front of their fans at Anfield.
Yeah.
Which
if they get the formation wrong, they will not.
Yeah. So they really need that. But Fulham is gonna make it so hard for them to do that.
Yeah.
And also this season we have seen that Liverpool is like they have a switch.
They can either switch on or switch off.
Yeah. When they beat Arsenal at Anfield, for example, that was another Liverpool compared to the one we saw yesterday, for example.
Yeah. But they won by a free kick.
The one that beat Galatasaray.
Yeah, it was just one goal, by the way,
the
which
one
was
that
a free
beat
kick.
Galatasaray, where they were all over they want to win that game.
Yes.
Different Liverpool.
Yes.
But we have not seen that Liverpool consistent.
In the EPL especially.
That a team that is known to get into opponents' faces.
Yeah.
More so when you go to Anfield, you know, here it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to get something.
That's true.
But it's kind of this season it has lost that. It's like Old Trafford.
Yeah.
It lost the edge of a home team.
Yeah.
Bournemouth come, get some points. Nottingham get 3 points.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what maybe even Marco Silva going to this game is like, okay, guys.
Yeah.
We can get, this is not the Liverpool we should fear. We can get something from this.
Yes.
So that's a kind of a...
On Sunday, we have 3 matches at 4 p.m. You talked about Newcastle. They're taking on Crystal Palace.
At home.
Crystal Palace is at home.
That's an interesting one. I think Newcastle will win. And the reason is, Crystal Palace have always struggled every time they have a midweek game. If you look at the last...
it's on Sunday or no? It's on Sunday.
It's on Sunday, but they are
play
also
today.
playing today.
No, is it today
They're
or tomorrow?
playing... No, they're playing today. Today is Thursday.
So you see, every time they've played, they have struggled.
At the weekend.
Yeah, and I think if you look at Newcastle and the energy they play with, that's how they will possibly win. But of course, it will be another tricky one.
I cannot put my money on Newcastle when they're playing away from home.
Surprisingly, actually, I'll go with Newcastle for this one.
Okay, that's interesting. So we will come back to the results after the weekend. And then we have an interesting clash for teams that are participating in the Europa quarterfinals. Nottingham is taking on Aston Villa.
That's a tricky one.
That's a tricky one.
Nottingham are at home. The Forest is always difficult ground.
Me a draw. Aston Villa
that pitch, the fans are very close to the fields.
Yeah.
You almost see them in your face.
Actually, they say it's like they do that to intimidate players. So, like, you see,
literally,
fans are so close to you.
Literally,
they are shouting.
They are very close.
Like the Anfield also.
Yeah.
Fans are so close.
Yeah.
Old Trafford, is it that close?
No, Old Trafford is not.
There's this stadium in Italy, that Napoli Stadium. The fans are so far away. There's even a track around the pitch. So you're like, how do they make that pitch
feel full?
Yeah, like the other day, the Bernabeu the atmosphere was top.
They know how to create that atmosphere.
Yeah, they do.
You have to give it to them.
Also, when Mbappe scored, it was something else.
Yeah.
So I think that one's going to be a draw. Nottingham, Aston Villa, it's going to be a draw.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Or maybe just a 1 goal or 2-1. Like
it'll
be a
low
scoring
Villa are also
game.
not good at playing away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Sunderland are taking Spurs. Sunderland are at home.
This is a tricky one.
I think Spurs are ending up in the relegation zone. I don't see them beating Sunderland.
I think they can.
I don't see them.
New manager bounce.
Yeah. They got new manager. This one that just went after, I don't know, 6 matches.
Yeah, but see, Igor Tudor is not...
Sunderland are good, but they're not that good, as people say.
At home. Their record at home has been very solid.
Yeah, they have only lost 1. But
at home they've been
a
amazing.
team where I can see and say, Spurs can't win here, kind of.
I'd say
Spurs just need to show up and they will win that game.
Really?
They have the quality.
I'd say, I know what British is saying. I'm also with her on this. I think Sunderland will be tough to beat for Spurs. As much as they have a new manager and new ideas, might be a draw. Or maybe whoever wins, a margin of 1 goal.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be that...
I'll give Spurs because I want them to be in the Premier League.
I think this is the match week that they go to the relegation zone.
They will to Europa League, but
I think...
that loss is still painful to date.
The one that pains me more is the Villarreal one.
That one for Spurs.
Because it was even a non-goal.
Yeah.
Villarreal one was hurting because how can the guy can't even win 1 penalty.
Sure. Yeah.
Actually, the game that I think Spurs will actually win is the next one after this when they play Brighton at home. Because
Brighton is even harder than Sunderland.
Sunderland is I think it will be... It's a tricky one. I'm also... It's tough for me to call it.
I'll tell you this. Spurs have only won 4 games. 2020. 5.
6.
Away from at home. They've only won 4 games since early last year.
Yeah.
Until right now. Imagine that. second leg last season, first leg of this season, second leg of this season, they've only won 4 games at home. It's worrying considering they are the best stadium in.
Yeah.
And then playing Brighton.
Brighton is a tricky one.
So me, I think they have to get something against Sunderland.
So you think they win Sunderland, then they lose the Brighton one?
Yeah, they lose Brighton.
Okay, fair point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then Sunday ends with Chelsea taking on Man City at Stamford Bridge.
Big game.
Man City will win this. I have no confidence in Chelsea at all.
I also think City are gonna win it.
Liam Rosenio.
I think City are gonna win
His
it.
tactics are good attacking wise, but not defensive wise.
Guys, we have 2 Chelsea fans behind the cameras. They want to die.
They want to stop the recording. Like, you can't talk bad about that.
We might have been muted.
But you know something else. Right now, Chelsea are having issues with Fernandes because of the comments he made.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
the squad is also
By the
not
way,
very
there was a meme that when you pick a Fernandes, make sure it's Bruno and not Enzo.
Not Enzo.
You know, when I watched the World Cup 2022, I was like, before that, no one knew about Enzo Fernandez. But I watched the Argentina games, the quarterfinal against, not group stage against Mexico.
Yeah.
Even the final. I was like, I would love this player at United. Like how everything passed through Fernandes in Argentina.
Yeah.
And then Chelsea were also like on the watch and like, okay. They paid 100 and something million to Benfica at that particular time and signed him. And I understand his point of view, where he's coming from with these comments. He feels like, guys, you signed this contract, you gave me a very long contract, but the money you're giving me, it's not compared to what it's not comparable to my importance in this team.
Yeah.
Because you look at his numbers in Chelsea, he's always playing. And Chelsea, I feel Chelsea are paying him less.
Yeah.
And then he has a very mouthy agent called Pastore. Who was a very good midfielder.
Yeah.
He had to talk bad again to start that kind of Chelsea decision.
Yeah.
So I think he feels that his time is not, he doesn't have the trust in the project at Chelsea. Because maybe what they gave him, the promise they gave him, is not what he's seeing in terms of ambition, in terms of where the club is going.
Yeah.
And even you as an outsider, you can sit down and look at Chelsea and be like, wait a minute, what's the project here?
Yeah.
1 billion spent. We don't have central defenders.
Yeah.
So if you're an ambitious player, you'll be like, guys,
is this the team I want to join?
Are we ever gonna fight for the Premier League with the Badiashile, for example?
Yes.
And do you all over every week you're giving goals, assists, and you're being paid a lot of little money that you feel is less.
True.
So
and
I will not be surprised if Pastore initiates a contact with Real Madrid, because Real Madrid are looking for midfielders, by the way, this summer. There are so many. They feel they have to upgrade in the midfield.
Yeah.
So Fernandes is one of the options. They might be looking, maybe because of the price.
And the fact that he's already talked about it, you'd feel like it's already a strategy to make that conversation going on.
Possibly, yeah.
Because we've seen these games played by agents.
Yeah, games.
Yeah.
And Fiorentina is one of the people who, if he has to pay 100 million, he must be deserving it.
Yeah.
He doesn't just pay a lot of money for nothing.
Let's talk about Dilla for Chelsea. Has he done...
That was a very good transfer decision for United to dodge that bullet, because it was available. It was available for £30 million.
I'm glad Chelsea actually took him because that boy is not good.
And we are also glad they took
the best place job.
We are also glad they took our boy Garnacho.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Good business.
Good business, yeah. That was good. Credit to Omar Berada and the team. That was very good business.
That boy.
For the sake of the Chelsea fans listening to us, the stats are also speaking against Chelsea on this one, because the last 5 matches, 0 win for Chelsea, 1 draw, and 4 wins for City.
Yeah, so 4 wins for City. Before that...
So we are not just saying for the sake of saying, but...
you look at the kind of invasion that they're going through, the transition.
Yeah.
The most incredible thing about City is that how they can still win when they are in transition.
Yeah.
This team is in transition. They like this summer. They announced that Bernardo Silva is leaving this summer.
Yes.
That is at the right time.
Yeah.
The players leave at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just release you after you're finished giving them what you're supposed to give them.
Yeah.
So Pep Guardiola this season...
And they're also able to get players that are just like a plug and go. Like Semenyo coming in, like literally his last match, he scores the winner for Bournemouth. He comes to City and scores.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. They have a very good... For me, I would say City are... It's very hard to admit, but they're one of the best managed club. People say they use a lot of money, but you look at the strategy behind the money they spend. It's incredible.
Okay.
The signings are intentional. You know what they need. They know the weakness. They go for it immediately. They don't wait. Yeah, like they've spent £500 million in last two.
Yeah, they do.
In last two January, not summer.
Yeah, and this match week ends with United taking on Leeds on Monday night.
A derby, kind of.
Yeah. Head to head, 2 wins for United, 3 draws, 0 wins for Leeds. That needs to continue. 100%. It should be a win.
Yeah, we have a very good record.
United at home.
At home.
They should be able to bring this home.
You have a very good record against
And the fact that we haven't played...
Because Villa is breathing fire on 4th.
Yeah.
It's just a point difference. So there needs to be a win for sure.
Yeah. The fact that we haven't played in a long time will be something for the fans as well. Fans need something to cheer on.
Yeah.
So I think we have to win that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you on the show once again. Always a pleasure to have you watching, and we are looking for those comments. Let us know what you feel about Champions League. The second leg is coming up next week. The weekend matches that are coming up. By the way, for those who are interested in local football, we have the FIFA series that is going to feature 4 national teams. They're already in the country. The games are going to be played at Nyayo Stadium on Saturday at 2 and at 6 p.m. And then the third place will be played on Wednesday as well as the final. That is something to watch out for. We have the Matildas in the country. That is the Australian women's team. Yeah. We have India and we have Malawi. They really danced at the airport when they came. They found drums there waiting for them, and it was beautiful to watch their African heritage. It doesn't matter which country you go. The moves are always there.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that as well. And it's been a pleasure. Until the next one. Thank you for watching.
Cheers.
HustlesAfrica.com, a guide to high-paying online jobs. At HustlesAfrica.com, you will discover the jobs people are doing from home, the platforms where opportunities are found, the skills that open doors, and the practical steps to begin earning. Go to HustlesAfrica.com today.